Hey everyone, and welcome back to Elden Ring. There's quite a bit that we're going to do in this episode. More loot to pick up, another catacomb to complete. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to do is head outside and open the map and show you what the plan is to move forward. So we are going to start here at the Stormhill Shack. We're going to use markers, so if you press the A button, we're going to come up here to where it says Finger Reader Crone. There's some items up here as well that we're going to get. Then we're going to come over here by this round building looking thing. And then we're going to come down here, get some items. We're going to drop down here to do a catacomb. Come up and do some stuff here. And then work our way back. So we're just going to make a big loop. I'm going to put one more marker here. So we're just going to do a big loop around this chunk of land. So let's go ahead and get started. And actually, let's go ahead and go right up here to the Stormhill Shack. I know I said that we're going to maybe limit some fast traveling, but I think this is a good idea to just go ahead and start the episode this way. So you can see up on the compass at the top, we're just going to be following the marker for number 1. We've got some enemies here. Let's go ahead and take them down. That's such a useful spell when you have large groups of enemies. Nice. Chain draped tabard. That's good, getting some new items, new equipment. And this is a padded cloth armor with a chainmail shawl draped over the shoulders, widely issued to foot soldiers in a lord's army. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. So I know that fashion is important, but let's go ahead and put on a couple of different armor pieces if we can, just to boost our physical damage negation. I feel like we're taking a lot of damage from some of the attacks. So for right now, we are not going towards Stormvale Castle, so we're going to go ahead and take this path off and go this way. Well, there's quite a few crafting materials through here that you can pick up if you want to. None of it is absolutely critical or necessary. I don't think that there's any items over that way towards the castle, so let's just go ahead over here and we will talk to the Finger Reader Crone, is what it showed here. So let's go ahead and talk to her.
Your fingers, please, your fingers. Oh, bless you. Head to the fountain of gold tarnished. Traverse Rea Lucaria, glintstone eventide, and reunite the half-crescents at the grand lift. Oh, but the bridge is collapsed and cannot be crossed. Only, why should that matter? Stormvale Castle still stands tall.
She mentioned something about Rea Lucaria, which is something that we've read before. That is a place that we will eventually come to and find. So here we've got the Nomadic Warriors Cookbook number 7. So let's take a look at what that's going to give us. So a record of crafting techniques left by roaming nomad warriors, so people like Kale, the nomads, contains knowledge for surviving in the face of utter scarcity. This gives us the ability to craft soft cotton, stanching boluses, and rainbow stone arrows. So let's go look in here super quick. The soft cotton temporarily reduces fall damage and sound. So if you're wanting to do a lot more stealth, that can be useful. I've never really used them, so I can't say how effective they are. The rainbow stone arrows are animal bone arrows tipped with rainbow stone shards, which these are good for like marking your path if you're in a confusing area. There are some later in the game that we'll look at. And then the stanching boluses alleviates blood loss. So, like I had shown before, when you have blood loss buildup, if it's getting high and you have those equipped, go ahead and just pop one. That way you will prevent yourself from getting the blood loss. Down here we've got another one of those scarabs. So it's best if you can get it from a distance. Because they do run away and they do disappear if you don't catch them quickly enough. So this one gets us the Ash of War Stormwall, which can be equipped onto small and medium shields. This Ash of War grants no affinity to an armament, but imparts the following skill. Stormwall. Swing the shield to create a wall of storm winds in front of you, deflecting arrows and other such physical projectiles. Can also be used in the same way as a regular parry. So you can use that to block and parry attacks. Basically parrying, I don't think that we have come across anything talking really about that. But that's basically a perfectly timed block using your L2 or left trigger button, rather than the left bumper to block. It is considered a weapon or armament skill for shields. So here you just want to try to double jump back up. If you're having a hard time with that, then you can just go ahead and teleport back to the shack that we were at. But yeah, the parrying and that shield can help with projectiles. I've never tried it, so again, I don't know how effective it is. Let's go ahead and top that off. And I'm going to pause for just a sec. Okay, I am back. And let's keep going this way. We're now going to head over to the number 2, which should be that one directly in front of us that we can see there. There are some bats. At least that's what I call them, or bats. I don't know if that's the actual technical term. But let's use the glintstone arc and see if we can take them out. Yeah. There's a couple of them up there too. If you want to take them down. Ooh, a golden rune too. That's nice. Okay, so let's go down this way. We'll switch back to the glintstone pebble. And we'll come down here into this field. That was an owl up there. If you kill the owl, they have a chance of dropping a... What is it that they drop? It's called a slumbering egg, which is a crafting item. So, as we approach the Colosseum here, we are going to get invaded, which puts us off of our horse. So we can't stay on Torrent. And where is he? Oh, there he is. Let's do a charged heavy on him. So invasions like this can happen even if you're offline. So be aware of that. The ones that we come across, I will point them out as they happen. If you are playing on your own accord, in your own game, then if you're online, there is a chance you'll get invaded by other players. So be aware of that. And they can heal as well, so usually I think they only have 1 or 2 heal items. And that is something that you very much need to get used to, which is called input reading. It happens a lot with projectiles and magic spells, that when you cast them, they dodge at the perfect time. almost as though they are reading the inputs that you are putting into your controller. So it can be very frustrating, but there's some spells later on that we can get to help with kind of counteracting that. So let's go ahead and top off and we'll get these items, do another little quick description. So this is about competitive multiplayer. Use the duelist's furled finger to write a red summon sign. Competitive multiplayer will begin once you have been summoned by a player from another world. You will take on the role of an adversary or a duelist, and your objective is to defeat the host of fingers who summoned you. So we've got the small red effigy and the duelist's furled finger. So that's how you can do the competitive multiplayer. So if you want to fight against other players, that's how you can do that. So we'll read the item descriptions real quick just so that we can stay consistent with that, even though I'm not going to be using them. So this creates the summon sign. I've already read the first two parts. So this is a finger of corpse wax furled like a hook. The bronze adornments are the mark of a duelist. And then we have the small red effigy. In competitive multiplayer, your objective will be to defeat the host of fingers of the world to which you were summoned. So if you get summoned to another player's world as a red phantom, then your goal is to kill that person. So we can open these doors, but that takes us into the Colosseum, which is a multiplayer thing. So again, I'm not going to be doing that, so that's not something that we will even consider or look at. So from here, we're going to go to the number 3, but we want to come over here underneath the bridge. There's an item that we can pick up, and then we'll come back over here. So let's go this way first. I would say we could really enjoy the scenery over here, but it's a little bit foggy. Got some more of those golem pieces on the ground. Hopefully none of them wake up. Alright, I always like to get off of Torrent over here just because walking Torrent on these ledges can be a little bit tricky. So there's an enemy right here, so just be aware of him. And then we are going to pick up the Soporific Grease. And this one is another item for coating your armament, and it inflicts sleep status. So it's a solidified grease made from a mixture of light purple materials. Craftable item. Coats your armament, inflicting sleep. The effects only last a short time. So we've got a couple of things that we can coat our weapons with to give us additional damage and additional buildup of statuses. So that's kind of neat. Alright, and then we want to go over to that big box looking ruin right over here. And there is a fairly tough enemy that we're going to fight, so let's be prepared for that. It's that knight over there. And we've got another one of these scarabs. If you hit him quickly enough, then you can do it before he falls. On my practice account, he did fall off of here, but I managed to fall and do a plunging attack on it, and it didn't damage me at all, which was kind of nice. So that got us another Somber Smithing Stone 1. So as soon as we have some more unique items, then we'll be able to upgrade them at least to a level 1. So let's see if we can get a couple shots off on this knight and actually hit him instead of his horse. And again, be very careful. Let's throw some kukri at him. Oh, there, that was good. Alright, so we killed him. The horse isn't going to attack us, so we don't need to do anything to him. And then we get the Ash of War Golden Vow. That's a really good one. And then we also got a Godric Knight Helm. So the Golden Vow is a guaranteed drop when you defeat this knight. The helmet is not. So let's take a look at that one. The Ash of War grants an armament the Sacred Affinity and the following skill. Golden Vow, skill passed down from antiquity among the knights of the capital. Raise armament aloft and pledge to honor the Erd Tree in battle. granting self and nearby allies increased attack power and defense, usable on all melee armaments. So this one's really good. It increases your power and your attack and your defense. And if you have summons, I don't know if it works on Ash summons, but if you have allies, like cooperative multiplayer, it will also do that for them as well. And then we also got the Godric Knight Helm, which is a helm worn by knights loyal to Godric the Grafted, adorned with a plume of withered ashen hair. Let's see what that one looks like and if it puts us into a heavy equip load. It does not, but you can see the blue on all of the damage negation numbers, so this is much better. So let's use that and we will look like an absolute dork for a while. I love it. So now we are coming over to, that's number 5, number 3. That's the one that we just did, so we can remove that one. Now we're going to come down here for number 4. So this little divot in the ground right here, we'll go there first. Just leave the horsey alone. And we'll come down here, and there should be another Trina's Lily over on this side. So let's pick that up. There it is. And we want to make sure we find a decent place to drop down here. Awesome. Okay, so there's a few things that we're going to do in this field, and then there's also a catacomb. So let's do the field stuff first. So we'll head towards the northeast. So there's an item over there that we'll want to pick up. We've got these little penguin looking birds. They'll give us the same thing as the eagles, which I don't think that I've taken down any of those eagles yet. But they have a chance of dropping feathers and maybe beast bones, and these four-toed fowlfoot. These are really good. So let's read that super quickly. A crafting item. In the lands between, having 3 digits is seen as a bad omen. As such, the four-toed fowl's foot is a gift of great luck indeed. That's going to help us to craft some really good items later on in the game. And I'll talk about that more when we get to it. So we've got another one of these golems here. You can see he's got like 1/3 of his health. So, oh my gosh, dude, I'm just trying to hit you. Thanks, man. So yeah, you can see they do some damage. And he's gonna swing. Oh, did alright. We'll still do much better damage with, oh my lord. Let's try that again. We'll do better damage with the flail. And we're just going to do magic since we can hit him from a distance. Charge. Yeah, there we go. And which way, which side? Dang it. So they only stay stunned or staggered for so long. So if you don't get to that critical spot quickly enough, then you won't be able to get that hit on him, which is fine. Like that, like I said, that guy had like 1/3 of his health, so he went down pretty quick. And then we want to come up here, yeah, right over here, and there is going to be another talisman. This one is called the Lance Talisman, and it is going to, well, let's read it. A talisman depicting a lance and a knight enhances attacks while on horseback. Knights on horseback are deadly foes. They see all below from their lofty position, meeting little meaningful resistance as they charge ahead. This one I forgot to read. We got this after we defeated that invader. This one is the Hammer Talisman. A talisman depicting a hammer and a knight. Enhances stamina, reducing attacks against a blocking opponent. Hammers are highly effective against shield-bearing foes, so much so that they are known as night killers. So if you're going up against an enemy that has a shield, Using something like that will use up more of their stamina when they block, so you don't have to attack them as many times before you have to or before you can geez, I am having a really hard time talking, before you can break their stance. So we're going to be running into these guys a lot. They're called Misbegottens. They usually travel in packs, and they're very good at surrounding you, so just be very careful, be aware of where they are at. They're pretty weak, but like I said, when they attack in groups, and if one of them sneaks around behind you, they can definitely do some pretty bad damage to you. So we picked up some string. Boasting no special qualities, this is merely a goodly length of string, used for crafting, often carried by demi-humans. I was wrong, they are not called misbegotten, they are called demi-humans. So we will find the misbegottens later. Used to make certain items easier to use. Okay. And there is one other... oh, there's this over here. So let's go back to using the glintstone arc and see if we can take these guys out. Nice-ish. Jumping attack. Gotcha. And running attack. Heck yeah. And we got a golden rune 3. And we just got our flasks replenished for defeating that group of enemies. So this is awesome. We're doing great. And I'm feeling very, very efficient in this episode, which is so good. Feeling much better. Alright, and this is another catacomb. So we've got another one of these. I think they were, what was it called? A lost soul or something like that? Unthinkable. Our hallowed resting places violated. To refuse the Erdtree's call to return. To live within death. I didn't see what the last one said. Sickening. Alright, so don't worry if you don't have all your flasks and all your stuff. We're going to be able to save right here at the grace point. And we're also going to take a look at leveling up. Because there's a weapon in here that I'm planning on using. I'm going to switch out the flail for it. So, and for that one, I'm going to need 11 strength and 18 dexterity. So we'll put one here in endurance. So like I said, we'll be going back and forth between vigor and endurance. I just wanted the 1 point in strength so that I can use this upcoming weapon. Flasks, everything else should be good. And in here we're going to be fighting skeletons, and they have a unique property to them, which we will see momentarily. And there are quite a few of them in here, so be prepared. So here's our first one. And now that he's knocked down, you can see we didn't get runes, and he is glowing and glowing and glowing. So if he continues glowing like that, he will revive and we'll have full HP again. So while it's down like that, you have to hit it again to ultimately kill the thing. There are spells, holy magic can negate that, so once you kill them with holy magic, then they are dead for good. Like, you don't have to hit them or knock them down that second time. So I did not realize I was on that spell. And you do have a little bit of time, so if you're surrounded, you can just kind of go back and forth. When they're on the ground, you can't lock onto them. I'm pretty sure we had already seen arrows. So just use your camera to aim down so that you can hit them. So here's another one. Got him. And you don't have to hit them like perfectly when they're on the ground. As long as you, even if you hit them with like the backswing of your weapon. There's another one over here in the corner that you couldn't see because it was dark. But yeah, you can see you've got plenty of time to get back to them before they revive. But yeah, even if you hit them with the backswing of your weapon, you're still going to be able to take them down. So, and here we have another grave glovewort. We are going to end up here, but we're going to go up and around because the weapon that I'm looking for is not up here. It's right here, sorry. So we'll go down this hallway here. I'm going to fight a few more skeletons, and we're going to glintstone pebble. Let's go ahead and move it to art so we can hit both of them. There we go. Perfect. Make sure there's nobody sneaking up behind me. Okay, just had to pause for a second there. All right, then we want to come over into this room, and that is the weapon that we are wanting to get. But we have a skeleton right here. I like to try and get around him like that, because if we don't, then we are going to knock him downstairs, and there are, just like that, which is not what I wanted. There are more skeletons down here, and it's really easy to get surrounded, so. The skeletons aren't too bad if you're playing with the sword and shield. Just keep your shield up, and you should be able to block pretty much everything that they have to throw at you. So, and not to say that it's super challenging playing as a mage character like I am, but obviously I can't block, so. Alright, let's go back up there and get the weapon, defeat a couple more enemies, and then go back down, and we should be able to find the lever to unlock the door. So then we've got another guy over there, and we just picked up the Uchigatana. Get over here and end him. Perfect. And another grave glovewort. We should. Okay, I thought that we had taken all of them out, but it's okay. Excellent. That should be all of them now. I think there might be a couple more that come out in that big room as soon as we pull the lever. So let's get the grave violets. Pull the lever, and there are... We'll just top off our health just to be sure. There's a couple more skeletons over here. Perfect. Down. And they did not drop anything. Sometimes they will drop a crafting item. It's called human remains. Basically just like human bones. So, yeah, I didn't get any of them to drop this time, but you can see the doors open. That'll take us down to the boss. So let's go up and prepare, and we'll see what we can do. So let's level up. We can't, so we still need 1200 more. We could use runes, but I'm not too concerned about it right now. Let's take a look at our gear. That's probably going to be the best. Yeah, I think we have the best gear on. We don't have any roars or breath attacks. None of these are going to really help us that much. So I think that we're good. Sure, why not? Let's use this. We'll put some magic grease on our weapon when we get in there. And lastly, let's use the Godric Soldier Ashes to summon. Why not? That way you can see them in action. They're not all that great. It's one of the guys with the big shield and a hammer. He's kind of slow, but he does help with tanking some of the aggression of the boss. So we'll summon them, and then I will put the magic grease onto my weapon. So let's summon magic grease, and we'll lock on. So this is the Black Knife Assassin. They can move pretty quickly, and you can see the input reading. So did the magic grease go on? It did not. So one of the good things about the Godric soldiers is that one of them has the ranged attack, which is nice. I need to heal. And magic isn't doing much, so I'll just keep my torch on so you can see where he is. Alright, there we go. So the summons are okay. Not in this episode, but for sure in the next one. I'm planning on getting a really good summon, one of the ash summons that we'll use for a fair amount of time. So let's come over here to this corner. We can get some more root resin, and it's kind of neat. You can see all tangled up in the roots, all of these bodies. You know, we've seen some of these things talking about you know, being buried at the base of the great tree and the Erd tree roots and things like that. So, and we picked up something called Death Root. So we also got this from the boss that we just fought, and we got the Uchigatana. So let's read super quick. An assassin's dagger, misshapen and stained in crimson. Critical hits restore HP. This charm is modeled after the deadly, gleaming blades used in the Night of Black Knives, those which gave the demigods their first taste of death. So this one is a talisman that we can equip. If we get a critical hit or a backstab, they will replenish some HP. And we got the Uchigatana, which is what we're going to use. I will upgrade that one a little bit in a few minutes. But this one has awesome damage, good slash damage, also piercing damage, and one of the best effects that it has, you can see at the bottom, it also causes blood loss buildup. So as that builds up, you're going to get massive chunks of damage against bosses and enemies. So let's read this one. A katana with a long, single-edge curved blade, a unique weapon wielded by the samurai from the land of reeds. The blade, with its undulating design, boasts extraordinary sharpness, and its slash attacks cause blood loss. And it has the skill Unsheath, which is the skill of swordsmen from the land of reeds. Sheath the blade, holding it at the hip in a composed stance. Follow up with a normal or strong attack to perform a swift slash attack. And we've already read arrows. Alright, so let's go in here to equipment, and we're going to equip that. And you can see it needed only 15 dexterity, but 11 strength. So it does less damage, but that's because we haven't upgraded this one. So if we go to the two-handed stance, you can see that we now have Unsheath. So if you hold the L2, he'll sheath the weapon. And if I hit my light attack or the RB, like the right bumper or the R1, that's the attack that he does. And if you do the same thing and hit your R2 or right trigger, he does an overhead slash, and it is really strong. So I like this weapon a lot. Okay, so let's head back to the entrance. Okay. All right, so we are at about 35 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and get to the next site of grace, which is just down here. And that's where we are going to end this episode.
Hello? Can you hear me? Help me.
Oh, we will help you soon. He is one of the coolest NPCs that we're going to come across. So let's go ahead and rest. Let's go ahead and take a look at our leveling up runes situation. We have enough for one, so let's go ahead and put that into vigor. Alright, and that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you for joining me. I will see you next time.